Noswaith and a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first Bristol Street Motors Trophy action of Wrexham season. Welcome to Match Day Live from the Stoke Kairas as Phil Parkinson's team square up to Salford City this evening. The first of 3 group games in the competition for Parkinson's men. And we've got a very pleasant North Walian evening. It's been a day of rain here, but fortunately the sun has come out for this evening, so we're looking forward hopefully to an entertaining game. As ever, 2 former Wrexham players alongside me this evening, making his Matchday Live debut. First of all, Wayne Phillips. Wayne, great to see you.
Good evening, Chris.
And of course, Mia Roberts, former Wrexham women's promotion winner. Mia, great to have you.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Well, a night for Phil Parkinson to throw his dice a little bit, a chance to rotate the players. We'll hear from the manager shortly, but an opportunity for those inside the stadium tonight, Mia, and those who'll follow on the iFollow service to see some different players.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's kept the same players in the. Again.
Before we came on air this evening, you and I were chatting about the strength in depth that Phil Parkinson has in his squad. It is, of course, a major part of Wrexham's artillery this season. There'll be players out here tonight who'll be desperate, I think, to give him a difficult decision or two to make for the next league match against Birmingham.
Yeah, certainly. I don't think it's come as any surprise to any of us to see 11 changes to the team from the performance we saw here Saturday. And I think more importantly is getting game time. The players who have performed terrifically well in the first team at the moment, they've got a shirt on their back. It's going to be difficult to get them off with the way you're playing, but these players who have come in this evening need game time. You can train as hard as you want, there's nothing like competitive football, and this is going to be a decent game for them tonight, and valuable minutes for those players who need minutes on the field. So, and it does give the manager food for thought then with what if Paul Mullin goes and scores a hat-trick tonight, then the manager has to think of a team that he has to put out for the game against Birmingham. So I'm looking forward to seeing these players because they'll all be up for it.
Well, we had a chance to catch up with Wrexham manager Phil Parkinson just a few moments ago. This is trophy action of the season and lots of changes from you tonight.
Yeah, used competitions, it's competitions last year to make changes, and the same tonight.
Josh Adam joined the club in midweek. Tell us a little bit about his arrival and what he's going to bring to the squad, because he's not involved this evening.
No, Josh isn't ready yet. I mean, he's missed the whole of pre-season, but we've had him in for, say, 10 days, and he's a very talented footballer. There's work to be done with him physically, but we just feel a player that talented is quite exciting to work with somebody like that, and we're looking forward to seeing his development in the coming weeks and months.
Looking at the team you've named tonight, I think we're pretty clear on who the 3 centre-backs are going to be and the 2 strikers, but the 5 in midfield gives us a few permutations to think about. 4 wing-backs really in there. How are they likely to set up? Yeah,
I mean, it's obviously with Andy Cann and George Evans being out, we're a bit short in that department, and we just took the decision to give everybody who needed a game. If it looks a little bit unbalanced at times, then we'll improve as the game goes on, I'm sure. But Fordy's going to play on the right of a midfield 3, James Jones is going to play in the holding role, and Seb's going to play on the left driving forward. I just want the night to be a really good workout for the lads who need football, and I felt with Fordy and Jacob it was so important that they got some game time tonight.
How near is George Evans to getting into the action again, Phil?
He's getting closer. A bit frustrating, but he's nearly there. But hopefully by the end of the week he'll be back in training.
Paul Mullin starting tonight for the first time this season, captaining the side. What kind of aspiration have you got on how many minutes he might play? Yeah,
we'll just assess him as he goes along. I mean, just Mo's needs tonight. He needs. A good workout, a good tempo of a game. So that's what we're looking to create, so all the lads get that physical benefit from it. So it's important for Paul because he's had the cameos off the bench. He's training well, but he needed to start tonight.
3 centre-backs in the side, highly experienced players, as we've said, who've not had the chance to play in the league, Phil. Is it an opportunity perhaps for one of those players to ask a question of you selectorially ahead of Birmingham, maybe?
Yeah, of course, that's what it's all about, but I think they're all good players, but the lads in the team have been playing well, haven't they? So it's kind of most important that when they get their opportunity, they're ready, and tonight will help on that way. They don't have anything to prove to us because we know they're good players, but equally it's more about the physical benefit of the evening's game.
Just finally, a first chance for the fans to see Mo Fowl.
Yeah, Mo comes in. Important for him as well to get a first taste of the atmosphere here, and you get a feel for the pitch, etc. And looking forward to seeing him. He's settling in well with the lads. We're integrating him into the demands of front players in our team and what we want for them. But listen, he's good at getting the box. He makes good runs in and around the penalty box, and our job tonight is to supply the crosses for Moles and Mo, and if we do, I fancy those two to get on the end of some.
Thanks for joining us, Phil. All
Thank
the very
you.
best.
Cheers.
Wrexham manager Phil Parkinson there giving his thoughts on the 11 he has named for tonight's match against Salford City in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, and picking out some of the specific selections to look out for. We can have a look now at the full team for Wrexham this evening. And Mia, when this team was named, I think you and I quite quickly could conclude who the three centre-backs were going to be. It was clearly going to be Brunt, Boyle and Scarr, and Farl and Mullin were going to play up top. But the middle five, well, there's four wing-backs in there, but Phil clarified a little bit how they're going to set up. But clearly this is going to see at least a couple of players playing in positions they're not most familiar with.
No, like you say, four wing backs. I think it's a bit, unusual. But like Phil said in the interview, I think it's about getting as many players as who need to be on the pitch on that pitch. And I think they're all good enough. If you're at this level, in my opinion, you're good enough to sort of go in more than your own position. So I think they'll do the job. I think if we're looking at Seb in the middle, I think he'll be top. We've seen him go forward in the past few weeks in pre-season, and he's looked unbelievable. So I think he'll try and do a job in that role today. And I think that they're all just want to do as well as possible in whatever role that is.
Wade, it's a while since we've seen Anthony Ford get a start for Wrexham, but as Mia mentions, he's going to slot in on the right of the midfield three tonight. How difficult is it for a player who's found himself a little bit back in the pecking order to come back into the side and then play out of position a bit?
Yeah, I'm sure the position shouldn't be a problem for him, Chris. I'm sure he's a good player, and good players can play in different positions, and he's shown that in the past when he's played right wing back and left wing back. Slotting into that right hand side midfield role isn't too dissimilar to where he normally plays as a right wing back. So comfortable on the ball, technically very good, can get up and down the pitch even though he hasn't had a lot of game time in recent months. But looking forward to seeing him having hopefully 90 minutes out on the pitch.
Now, talking of 90 minutes, Mia, the question I guess will be asked is how long Paul Mullin might play tonight. It's his first start of the season. He's captaining the side. And I know fans have been speculating a little bit, or we might see him for a half, 60 minutes. Some people saying, well, if he's looking good, Phil might look to give him the full 90. What are your reflections on those options?
Listen, I think he's the type of player who's going to work hard from minute one. So I think he's going to run his socks off, and let's see if when we get to that 60th, 65th, 70th minute how he's getting on. I think if he's all right, then let him go. But I wouldn't risk it at this point either. I think the type of game it is as well. Let's not take any unnecessary risks. Pardon me, but I don't think Phil will. I think he's smart enough, sensible enough to know that it's not worth any unnecessary risk.
Mo Fowl tonight, Wayne, given his first opportunity to show the Wrexham fans what he can do. He hasn't had a minute yet so far to put the red shirt on. Brought in on deadline day, and I think people will be intrigued to see what he brings.
I think they'll be excited, as we are. Looking forward to seeing him here at the racecourse. It might not be a capacity crowd this evening, but the 4,000 or 5,000 that are here could be in for a treat, because I think he's got so much to offer. And I'm personally looking forward to see if they can form a partnership up top. We've seen a partnership at the moment in the first team between Jack Marriott and Ollie Palmer, and it does take partnerships, and if Mullin and Farl can get to know each other pretty quickly, as I'm sure they have already on the training field, hopefully we'll get to see them putting pressure on the two that are in the first team at the moment.
Well, pressure on places is exactly what Phil Parkinson will be looking for tonight. And don't forget, you can follow tonight's game using the iFollow service. All the details are on the club website. I just need to give you some information from the club club around about the iFollow service and some of the issues that we had on Saturday. So the club statement reads that we have been in touch with relevant parties since Saturday's iFollow stream. The EFL have assured us that the streaming provider has identified and fixed the problems that affected the availability of the match feed for overseas supporters. Refunds are being processed for all supporters who purchased match passes and on a pro rata basis for all those people with monthly and season passes. If you don't receive a refund within the next 24 hours, please do contact iFollow at EFL.com, and the club would like to apologise for any inconvenience caused at the weekend and thank everybody for their continued support. Alright, so it's the EFL Trophy tonight, now sponsored by Bristol Street Motors, and this season is the 20th anniversary of when Wrexham won this trophy. It was the LDV Vans Trophy back then, and in 2005 a famous day in Cardiff as Wrexham beat Southend by 2-0. But the time around the club was about as different as you could possibly imagine from the circumstances we have today, and one supporter in particular made it his mission at the time to try and raise money to stave off potential bankruptcy. I had the chance to catch 20 seasons this year since Wrexham won the then LDV Vans Trophy, now the EFL Trophy, at the Millennium Stadium in 2005 against Southend. But that was a season where off the field there was all sorts going on at the club. Just remind us some of the issues.
Yeah, the issues at the club was we had no money, we had owners who didn't want a football club in the ground, and many more issues, and to be honest, the LD Vans final was a godsend for us financially.
Now Neil, in that season I know you decided, and a few other fans were in a similar camp, that urgent action was needed to try and raise funds for the club, but I know you lived a long way from Wrexham at the time and therefore had to try and come up with a plan that you could execute from being a long distance from the Stoke Kairas. Tell us what you did.
Yeah, at the time I was living down in Cornwall, which is a 320-mile trip from Wrexham. And as you said, you know, I was living in Cornwall, but I was a massive Wrexham fan, been a Wrexham fan since I was 7. And our trust, which had just been formed then, needed to raise funds. So at the time, I came up with the idea of trying to collect every Football League and Premiership shirt all signed to raise funds for the Supporters Trust.
Now that's a big ambition, 92 clubs. I'm guessing that's a lot of letters that had to be sent. How easily did you get acceptances and get the shirts coming back in?
It was a massive task. The letters went out, and to be fair, a lot of the clubs, when I say a lot, I would say 40 replied within the first couple of months. And then after that, it took a lot of chasing, trying to speak to the right people. Fans picking up clubs from shirts from clubs all over the country. Fans who were based down in London were going down to London clubs to pick them up for me. But yeah, it was a huge task, which took virtually the 12 months to collect all 92 shirts.
Sounds like a really big team effort from a number of you to pull them all together. And having got the 92 shirts, what did you do with them next?
Well, luckily it got quite a lot of BBC Wales broadcasting, and we decided that they would actually display them before the game at the Millennium Stadium in front of the crowds, because it was going to be live on television, to try and get as much coverage of the shirt collection, because it was very unique. It would never be another unique collection like that in that season. And because we had a Fans United game here a couple of times at the racecourse, I invited fans from Brighton and all of the clubs, their children, to come and display the shirts all around the stadium, at the Millennium Stadium as it was then, prior to the game against Southend.
That game, of course, was won by Wrexham 2-0. A little bit of a highlight in a very difficult period, but how much did you manage to raise in the end from the sale of the shirts? Yeah,
initially they went to auction down in London, and I did put a reserve on them, because I thought they were worth, just individually, a collection of 10,000, and they didn't sell. But luckily, that was at Sotheby's in London. Luckily there was a guy watching on from Anglesey, and he put in a bid after the auction for 13,500, which I think it was actually 15,000, but after they took their commission, it worked out 13,500, which was a godsend for our Supporters Trust in fighting to save this football club.
Phenomenal effort, Neil, at the time. And of course, when we stand here now at the Stoke Kairas and look at the position that the club is in on and off the field, it would only have been a dream 20 years ago, wouldn't it?
20 years ago, we nearly lost our club. And to be in a position today where we've got fantastic owners. We've got at the time when I started following Wrexham, we had a huge fan base anyway. There were 20,000 coming, and to see all these fans coming back to the club and how it's changed, it's just not just great for Wrexham but for the surrounding areas. It's been phenomenal, and we can never thank them enough for what they've done to this club and the community, and to where we are now. We talk now, we're top of the league, of League One. 3 seasons ago we were in the National League, and prior to that, before Rob and Ryan took over, we were really struggling to survive as a club.
Well, Neil, thank you so much for telling us your story, and thank you again for what you did right back in that period of desperation 20 years ago, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's just something that had to be done, along with other fans who actually did sponsors walk to Cardiff to raise funds and everything, and that's why we're here today, because of those fans out there who went the extra mile to raise funds for this club, the club that they loved.
Brilliant. Thanks again, Neil. Neil Williams giving me his memories from that heroic effort to get a shirt from all 92 clubs to raise funds in that horrendous 2005 season, where the only highlight really was victory in Cardiff and the LDV Vans Trophy. Wayne, looking back at that era of the club and the peril it was in, it's scarce to believe, isn't it? Hard to believe the club is in such a rude financial health now, because back then it really was day in, day out, peril, difficulty, and a question of whether the club could continue. Yeah,
it was tough even before that time, Chris, during my time at the club, and by the time we got to 2005 my boots were well and truly hung up, and I was there that day in a commentary position, and it was a delight to think that this could be the turning point yet again, and it wasn't to be the case for a number of years, but we've come a long way in a short time over the last 2 or 3 years, which has been fantastic when we look back at how it was in the early, the late 90s and the early 2000s. So it's all good at the moment, and we'd much rather see what we're seeing now than the tough times we had during those early years.
You spent 2 long spells with the club, 10 years, then away for a little bit at Stockport, back for 4, over 300 appearances, and I'm guessing over that time at the club, Wayne, that wouldn't have been the only occasion when you were a little bit worried perhaps whether you were going to get paid each month.
No, there was times when payments were late, but you seem to forget about it when you're enjoying your work. There wasn't one day in my 14 years at the club that I did not enjoy turning up for a training session. Having been beat heavily on a Saturday afternoon at times, I always wanted to go back into work on a Monday morning, because I worked with some terrific players, some terrific managers and coaches, and the memories will never go away, Chris. I look back at my time now, and I enjoyed every single moment of that, and as a supporter now and an ex-player, I'm enjoying seeing these players in what they're going through, different types of times, but when it comes to getting out there on the football field, we're all after the same outcome, 3 points on a Saturday afternoon or an evening, so that side of it hasn't changed.
Mia, I know you were very young, of course, around the time of this final, but looking back on that era, first as a Wrexham supporter, then as a Wrexham player, and hearing Wayne mention some of his own experiences, does it help give you a sense of perspective as to where the club has come to now?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I was very privileged to have family at the club at the time as well, so I sort of grew up sort of knowing the situation and being quite aware of it, and so I think it does, and obviously the fans who were there at the time as well know, and I think that's what makes these times all the more sweet, and all the more makes all the fans all the more grateful, and I don't think anyone takes it for advantage or anything whatsoever now, and that's why everyone is just sort of living in the moment and enjoying every single second of what is just an unbelievable roller coaster that is Wrexham AFC at the moment, and look at us this season, who knows what might happen, and I think that's what it's all about, just absolutely loving it and being as positive as possible, because you never know when it might end.
Well, Wayne, you mentioned you were on commentary that day in 2005, and we thought it would be remiss of us not to indulge ourselves and look back a little bit on that occasion in May 2005. Apologies in advance for the quality of the VT that's coming. It's probably an indication of where we were as a club at the time. It was probably recorded on a Betamax.
It's down by Gray. Barrett still forward. The only man forward for Wrexham is Ugarte, but it might be enough. Here comes a wonderful supporting run from Llewellyn as well. Ugarte wants to go himself, and he did have support. Eastwood. Oh, Eastwood. Well, there's a man full of confidence. Bentley will hit it. Oh, and he pulled a really good save out of the goalkeeper. Ferguson taken early. Oh, it's come off the bar. Followed in. Is it over the line? The goal has not been given. The cavalry have arrived for Wrexham. Lawrence is in there. He leaps highest, and it's turned in. Well, it had to be, didn't it? The top scorer in the LDV Vans has given Wrexham the lead. Juan Ugarte. And is there a way back from that? Jay Wilson again. It's a lovely turn by Pettifer. McCormack now. Inching forward, and Barrett! Looks like the side from the upper division will prevail. Llewellyn tucked away and followed in. Ferguson has definitely won it for Wrexham now. Darren Ferguson, his second goal in the LDV Vans trophy.
LDV Vans trophy.
A lovely moment for Wrexham. The winners of the LDV Vans trophy in 2005 are Wrexham.
And I'm sure many of you watching that might have recognised the young, fresh-faced Wrexham goalkeeper that day. It was, of course, Ben Foster. And Mia, who could have believed looking back then that he'd have such a part to play in the modern Wrexham era?
Well, exactly. I mean, you know, how do you don't script stories like that, do you? You just wouldn't believe them. So, no, everyone knows, you know, how grateful everyone is to Ben Foster coming back and what he did. No one will ever forget that Notts County penalty save just over my shoulder, over there in front of the Kop. But also, obviously, what he did at the LDV Vans trophy as well. So he's done it on 2 stints, and he's, you know, going to be down in history books for a long time as a Wrexham legend.
Wayne, we saw Darren Ferguson captaining the club that day, lifting the trophy, scoring the second goal. You played with him here for many years. What are your memories of him as a teammate? And of course, he's still very prominent in the game as the manager of Peterborough United. Yeah,
he was one of the best as teammates go because of the standards he set. He wouldn't accept anything but giving your best, and he was terrific to play alongside in the middle of the park, and you know, the odd mouthful of abuse off him at times, as many players did get. But I think that came from his background. You only have to look at Sir Alex, he's been his dad, how much of a winner he was at Manchester United, and Darren followed suit, and I'm glad he's gone on to have a terrific managerial career. I didn't wish him all the best 2 weeks ago down at Peterborough when I saw him, but no, someone that I'm very fond of, played a huge part in my career because I learned so much off him, but you know, he was a joy to be around.
Mia Roberts and Wayne Phillips alongside me, Chris Malaban, this evening, and they're going to be joining Mark Griffiths on the iFollow service to provide full match commentary of tonight's Bristol Street Motors Trophy match against Salford City. Wayne, Mia, I'll let you head off upstairs to join Mark now. We'll see Mia and Wayne again at half-time and again at full-time when we'll reflect on tonight's game and get some reaction from the Wrexham camp. But for those of you who missed the best of the action in an outstanding Derby Day victory against Shrewsbury here on Saturday, here's a quick reminder of how Wrexham went to the top of League One.
Swept in towards the far post. That's a crucial intervention and a mishit shot by Rathbone. McLean, no! Hit the bar! He hit that with his weaker foot like a rocket. Barnett cutting inside. Got an option maybe to switch to McLean, feeds it between the lines instead. Lee driving forward, finds McLean, acres of space, first time cross, Palmer, yes! Brilliant goal, beautifully worked. Excellent passing by Wrexham, Lee's vision was perfect. McLean with the first time nasty ball in, and Ollie Palmer at the far post. And that is exactly what Wrexham are doing. Here now is Dobson, who so often puts the pace into a move, and he does. He finds Rathbone, and he helps her on again, and Lee helps her on first time. McLean, first time cross, Palmer! Oh, it's blocked! Well, Wrexham fans complaining Palmer's shirt was being pulled. as Benning tries to go past Palmer and fails, and Palmer's done well there to shield it. Barnett takes over. Palmer stayed down on the halfway line and looks in pain as Barnett gets in the box. He might shoot. He lays her off. Lee 2-0. Great run by Barnett. He carried it deep in the half. They kept backing off, and instead of shooting, he squared it, and Elliot Lee slots it in the bottom right corner. And Wrexham have got that little bit of breathing space. Lloyd trying to pressure. O'Connell's done well to get her foot in. O'Connell's battling and wins it back in the end. Good recovery, and then he clips over the top. And here's a chance as Marriott sprints in. The keeper comes out of the box. Marriott's past him, and he snaps it in! Oh, man, Jack Marriott deserves that! He's got a short option in Dobson, who has been picked up, but he still uses him. And there is the final whistle. Tremendous performance by Wrexham. The derby, you got to turn up in a derby and show spirit. And, well, we certainly did. An emphatic win for Wrexham.
An excellent day then for Phil Parkinson's side on Saturday, beating Shrewsbury Town 3-0 here at the Stoke Kairas. The next league game, of course, is a week on Monday when Wrexham travel to Birmingham City. So that the next test for Phil Parkinson's side, next Monday. So 6 days' time, a serious challenge against the league's big spenders, just spending over £10 million on a new striker. They really mean business, the men from St Andrews. So that'll be a real examination for Wrexham in their next League One outing. But what of tonight? It's Bristol Street Motors Trophy action here at the Stoke Kairas. The chance for some fringe players to stake their claim and try and get into that matchday squad for the trip to the Midlands. You can, of course, follow this match on the iFollow service. Head to wrexhamafc.co.uk/live or look at the details on the screen, which will follow shortly. We'll be back, though, here on YouTube at half-time with Mia Roberts and Wayne Phillips to discuss the action from the first half, and we'll also catch up with Andy Morell, who is midway through the Land's End to John O'Groats bike ride, and see how he's getting on. We hope to see you then at half-time, but for now, from the Stoke Kairas, it's bye for now.
You know what you've got to do. You've got to back the players and make some noise. You got Wrexham!
Salford, leaving the field, number 32, Liam Shepherd. He's being replaced by number 2, Tom Edwards. the Morell Sudol will be logging in our playoffs for 14 minutes of whatever the court official has indicated there will be a minimum of 1 minute added time. For our Sky Next one match, which will be That's it, Wrexham.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. It's half-time here at the Stoke Kairas, and Wrexham fixture of the season. Paul Mullin, the captain for the night, with an excellent goal in the 18th minute, bending the ball in the top corner with his left foot. Wayne Phillips, I'll come to you first, I think. 1-0 to Wrexham at half-time. Will Salford feel that's a little bit harsh on the balance of play?
I think they've given Wrexham a game. There's not been a lot between the two sides in the first 45 minutes, other than that bit of magic from Paul Mullin. And you know, firstly the way he turned and bent it into the top corner, and other than that there's not been too much to come from Wrexham in the final third, and they've had to defend. They've defended well at times, but Salford have caused a few problems, and you know, we speak about a second goal in any football game. I think you know, should Wrexham go on and get that next goal and the second goal, they will go on and win the game. But it's certainly a close game, but it was a delight to see Paul Mullin at his best with the goal that we've seen here this evening.
Mia, talk us through that goal in a bit of detail.
I mean, I said up on comms, it's pretty much vintage Paul Mullin. We've seen him do that so many times, you know, just that little sort of cut in inside and just whips it round into that top left corner on his left foot. I think that's 106 goals for him now, and yeah, we've seen it so many times, and I'm sure the opposition have seen it a lot too, and they still can't do anything about it. You know, he knows exactly what he's going to do. He had one a few minutes earlier, didn't he, just from a similar position, which he just got a bit wrong. I think he goes for the other side of the goal, but you know, he wasn't going to mess it up that second time, and yeah, he'll be absolutely delighted with that, delighted to get off the mark for this season, but he'll be wanting to do it, you know, again in the second half, and I'm sure many times going forward over the next few weeks too.
What have you made of his play outside of the goal?
He's worked hard. I think at times, I know Wayne pointed out, just that ball over the top at times has been a bit under hit. I think that's something we've done well so far this season with our, centre backs. Normally Max or Tom O'Connor have hit that ball over the top quite well. Today hasn't quite got it right. I think at times when he's gone to running behind, the defenders have just got in front of him because the ball hasn't been right. But he's working hard, and he'll keep working hard this second half. I'm sure he'll want to stay on as long as possible. But we'll see if pulled off maybe a bit early to rest them legs, so we can maybe have a few minutes on Monday night.
Wayne, 11 changes tonight and 2 players playing really out of position. Anthony Ford playing right of a midfield 3 and Seb Revan being asked to do the same role on the left of James Jones. I guess perhaps not surprising then that Wrexham made a bit of a disjointed start, and it was always going to perhaps take them a little while to get into any sort of rhythm. Yeah,
and bearing in mind as well, a lot of these players haven't got a lot of game time.
Yeah.
Some of them are starting a game for the first time this season. They'll be feeling a little bit nervous because they're going to have to go out and perform. It's only natural that you want to play to a high level, and maybe they do show a bit of their nerves as well. But they have settled, and Revan won the ball back in midfield here once, and Wrexham broke, but we hopefully will see a bit more in the second half from an attacking point of view. As I said, the pleasing aspect of the first half for me is the way we defend. When we haven't got a ball, we get numbers back. We've seen that on a weekly basis in a lot of games. And should Salford still be behind, the game might open up a bit and we might get more chances, but no real complaints, because you can't come here and criticise players when they're starting for the first time. They're short on minutes. I think the biggest plus at the end of the game tonight for me will be minutes on the field for a lot of them, and hopefully a win as well.
Callum Burton between the sticks tonight for Mir, and he's had to be at his best on one occasion, shot from Lund late in the half, which he did well to tip over.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him. I was really impressed with him at Sheffield United. I thought he put on a real good performance that night, made some really good save. I know he conceded 4 that night, but honestly I thought he was very good that night too. And tonight, yeah, he's had a couple of things to do, but he's done them well. He looks to have a good relationship with those 3 in front of him as well, which is always a good sign. And obviously, Arthur's number 1, but to have that strength at number 2, and obviously Mark Howard as well at 3, that's really powerful to have in the squad as well. So no, he started really well, and that's really good to see for another new signing.
Just briefly, Wayne, your thoughts on Mo Farl in the opening 45?
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of him in the 45 minutes. There was a couple of link-up play between him and Mullin on a couple of occasions. But to be fair to him, Chris, there's not been a lot of service into him in that final third as well. I think we've spent most of the time in our own final third or the mid-third. I'd like to see a bit more in the final third, second half, and should we be able to do that, I think we'll see more of him alongside Mullin up top, because the two of them haven't seen a lot of the ball, because the way Salford have set out, they've made it difficult for us to get a ball up there, and they've had lots of passages of play to deny us having the ball, basically, so hopefully more to come in the second half.
Wayne Phillips giving his thoughts tonight on Matchday Live. The first time we've had the chance for Wayne to join us, and he's here tonight because Andy Morell is out and about on his bike. He's currently making his way from Land's End to John O'Groats. He's raising money for a fantastic cause to help increase research into Prader-Willi syndrome, which is a cause close to his heart. Today he's been making the schlep from Ludlow to Haydock. He's almost halfway through the ride now, and he managed to send us this video a little earlier to let us know how he's getting on.
Hi everyone, Andy Morell here. Fortunately couldn't be at the game on Saturday with a convincing win over Shrewsbury, but I'm currently on a ride across Britain, which is Land's End to John O'Groats, over 9 days. We are 420 miles in, about 675k through on day 4 just completed, and it's tough. Lack of sleep, that's where we're staying, in those tents over there. A few people snoring in the other ones next to you can really put paid to any sleep, and it's just grueling. We've done over 35,000 feet of climbing, I think it is, and some brutal, really steep, but thoroughly enjoying it. The team ethic, the RAB bubble that they call it, people getting each other through, it's just a brilliant experience. and trying to raise money for Prader-Willi Syndrome Association as we go. And thankfully I had Jack and my family come and visit me in Ludlow yesterday, which was a massive boost for today. The easy stage, but wind against, no easy stage this time. So 5 days to go, up to Carlisle tomorrow, really looking forward to it, up the town.
Andy Morell, a member, of course, of the Matchday Live team. He'll be back the next time we're in action here on Matchday Live, the home game against Crawley Town on the 21st of September. But we very much hope before then he's successfully made his way to John O'Groats. Wayne, you're a keen cyclist yourself. How would you square up to 900 miles? It sounds horrendous in 9 days, particularly if snorers are stopping you from having a good night's sleep. That's the one thing you do want.
Well, I had considered it when Andy mentioned it a long time ago, going back on 9-10 months, and I thought, but then I thought harder about it, and it's some doing, you know, to do 100 plus miles every day. I quite often go out around the Wrexham area 2-3 times a week, 50 and 60 miles, and that's bad enough. But all credit to him, and I'm delighted that he's got to halfway stage. He will certainly get to the end because of the dedication. If he shows the dedication on the bike he showed on the football field, he won't have any problems at all. So wish him luck for the second half of the ride.
Mia, 100 miles a day for 9 days. Suddenly pre-season training doesn't seem so bad.
I know, I'd do the bleep test every day over that, I think, but no, it's a massive achievement what he's doing, and he's a great guy as well as a great footballer. So it's great to see him doing so well, and hopefully he finishes just in time for Birmingham.
Yeah, that's his plan. Andy Morell is due to get to John O'Groats the day before Wrexham's trip to Birmingham City next Monday night. So he's then hopeful of getting in a car. I think he'll have seen enough of his bike by then, and getting a lift back from John O'Groats all the way to St Andrews to be there as part of the iFollow commentary team on Monday night. So Wrexham square up to big spending Birmingham City, the favourites to win League One, who've been throwing the cash around this season, and the signing of Stansfield, Mia, for over £10 million from Fulham. I mean, for a League One club to be spending an 8-figure fee on a striker on a 7-year contract, incredible.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, there's been a lot of questions asked of obviously Wrexham over the past few years, spending big in National League, League Two, but I think that's a whole new level, right? No, there's a lot of pressure on them. Obviously, they're expected to go straight back up, and obviously a big club like them should go straight back up, but it's not that straightforward. Wrexham know that. So it'll be a great game Monday night. I'm super excited for it. I'm sure all the players are as well. Great occasion. I think there'll be 30,000 there. So yeah, what a moment. What a night that'll be.
Well, if we look at how Wrexham have won their matches in the league this season, it has often been having a lot less possession than the opposition, often the figure around about 30%, but that's been enough to win games against Reading and also against Wycombe on the opening day. They didn't have the lion's share of the ball. We saw them with more possession than Shrewsbury on Saturday, but would you envisage that trip to Birmingham next Monday night will be one of those games where Wrexham will be standing off a little bit and just looking to be really clinical when they do have the ball?
Absolutely, Chris. I think we saw it at Bolton, and we saw much the same at Peterborough. And for me, the only real stat that matters is goals in football games. And I don't get carried away with stats about having so much possession in games. We see it so often where some of the teams will have 60 and 70% possession, but and it's a tactic by Phil Parkinson to allow the other teams to have the ball, and when Wrexham win it back, it's how they deal with it, and it's important what they do with it. And up to date, they've done it really well. They came from Bolton not conceding, and they've scored 2 goals apiece. To me, as said, 30,000 fans, one of the biggest, a big club in the Midlands, and I'd be more than happy to be leaving there as I did without getting beat, and we're more than capable of going there and doing that, if not going there and getting all 3 points as well.
Well, we will see next Monday how Phil Parkinson's table-topping team get on against Birmingham. A reminder tonight how this game works. If it is all square after 90 minutes, there will be a penalty shootout for an extra point. So the way this competition is organised, there are 8 groups of 4 teams in the northern section. It's the same in the south. You play everybody else in your group 1. So Wrexham have got Salford City, Wolves under-21s and Port Vale in their group. But if a match is drawn, there is a penalty shootout at the end of that for an extra point. So if this match is drawn tonight, we will have a penalty shootout to see who gets that extra point. Wrexham are at home to away to Port Vale, and at home to Wolves under-21s in their remaining fixtures. The Wolves game comes next in a month's time. But the Salford players are out and about for the second half. It's time for Mia and Andy to go and rejoin Mark Griffiths on commentary. So if you want coverage of the second half, head to iFollow for that. Otherwise, we'll see you back here on YouTube for full-time analysis in around about 45 minutes time. We'll see you then.
Substitution for Salford, leaving the field, number 7, Ryan Watson. He's been replaced by number 9, Paul Stockton. And leaving the field, number 11, Josh Taylor. He's been replaced by number 22, Julian Lambert. Substitute for Wrexham, leaving the field, number 19, Jacob Mendy. He's been replaced by number 4, Matt Howard. And leaving the field, number 14, Anthony Cook. He's been replaced by number 20, Ollie Rathbone. Leaving the field, number 10, Paul Mullins. He's replaced by number 9, Ollie Farmer. concludes as a draw, it will go to penalties with the winning team being awarded 1 extra point. Substitute for Wrexham leaving the field, number 22, Morell. He's in the place, number 45, and leaving the field, number 17, Bolton. He's leaving the field by number 29, Ryan Martin. Substitute for Salford leaving the field, number 10, Harry Marnie. He's being replaced by number 14, Ben Woodburn. on with the needed on a play-off support 4 minutes of when I go. The fourth officials indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes, and it's out 4 minutes. The official attendance for the Stoke Kairat is 6,640. That brings us back to the 150 away fans. We hope you have a safe journey home. Wrexham women's next home game at the Morell on September 15th when they face
Is there any chance you could pop to the coffee shop and try and get...
Drips on you.
Welcome back to a rather damp Stoke Kai Ras, where Wrexham have triumphed in the rain against Salford City this evening by 2-1 to win their opening Bristol Street Motors Trophy match of the season. For those of you with us earlier in the evening, you'll know Wrexham led by a 1-0 at half-time. Paul Mullin with an excellent left-foot curler into the top corner in the 18th minute. Well, Connor McAlhaney levelled matters for Salford City in the 53rd minute, a nicely taken goal which gave Callum Burton little chance. And just when it looked like we might be heading for penalties to decide this one, up popped Will Boyle, who's become very much a goal-scoring centre-half in his time at the club, in the 83rd minute to head home a corner and give Wrexham the 2-1 win. Wayne Phillips and Mia Roberts are alongside me, looking rather smart with your Mary Poppins style umbrella there, Wayne.
Nice. Yeah.
What did you make of the evening?
Well, it's a win. The excellent run at the start of the season goes on, and a lot of pluses for me to come out of the game. It wasn't free-flowing football the whole time, but they dug in deep. When Salford got back in the game in the second half, they all feel they deserved that, Salford, because it was close up to that point, and the goal, you start to think then which way is the game going to go, but it took a late goal off Will Boyle, and substitutions that we expected came at the right time. Certain players who haven't played a lot of football this season have been out injured, and I think Phil was quite wise in what he did. I half expected the three centre-backs to play 90 minutes, which they did. And nice to see the youngsters coming on at the end. I call Max Cleworth a youngster. He's a regular.
Yeah.
But what a game he had for 20 minutes inside our midfield. Excellent everything he did, and Harry Ashfield as well. Did very well in the minutes he was on the pitch. So a valuable 90 minutes. Without having to go to penalties, and delighted that we won the game, really.
Who stood out for you tonight, Mia?
I think there were, a few really good performances. For me, I thought Seb Revan was really good. I thought Dan Scarr as well. I thought he was really good in that centre of that back three. I thought Max, when he came on in that midfield role, really impressed as well. I think that was.
She's on the ball. She's on the ball.
Well,
Evening, Phil.
No, I thought he was really good.
No, he
and
was
then
great. He was
I thought Harry as well when he came on looked really bright, and I think that's a really good opportunity in this competition to use players like him.
Definitely, totally agree.
Yeah.
Said it all,
Go now, Phil.
Yeah.
Max as a holding midfielder, has that given you a new selection of thoughts?
Well, Max has played there before, and his development, and he was outstanding when he got on. He's just a good player, and he's just a good all-round footballer as well as a defender. So, yeah, he did well when he got on.
What were your overall reflections across the 90, Phil?
Yeah, I think, like I said before the game, when you piece together a team and the midfield shape isn't quite right, it doesn't quite fit, it's always going to have a bit of a disjointed feel to it, but we wanted to get a workout tonight, a proper workout for all the lads, and I feel we've got that. And winning's a good habit as well, and despite not having quite the cohesion we would probably have liked ideally, into the physical workout and winning the game are the plus points. And Jacob, first game for I don't know how long, 40, first game for ages, Mole's first start, typical Mole's goal. So loads of positives for us, like you just said. Ashley coming on, could have scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, looked really bright.
Just great, and carried on from where he was in pre-season. Those of our supporters who saw the games in pre-season, and certainly the Bournemouth game when he came on, he was excellent. So pleased for him, because he had a taste of it, then he's taken a step back, and now he's had another taste of it tonight. So great, it's good for our supporters. And like Mia rightly said, these nights are for that. It's giving players minutes, but also can we get one of our youngsters out there as well and see how they handle the stage.
Having a competitive match like this must be invaluable, though, Phil, for players who've had so little game time this season. I guess there's only so much you can do on the training ground.
Yeah, I think first of all that the standards in training have been outstanding, and that's what we're all about as a group. Getting a good group of lads in the building who, whether they're in the team or out the team, are going to train properly and drive standards, and that's why that Scarr and Brunty and Boyley, players like that, were able to play like they did, because they're up to speed, because their efforts in training. But yeah, listen, like I've said many times, the lads in the team are doing well. It's not about the 11, it's about the squad, and we've got players ready to step in, and football changes quickly, as everybody knows, and that's a huge benefit for us tonight.
Will Boyle on target at Sheffield United in the Carabao Cup. We saw him again tonight come and win the game just when you needed someone to put their hand up. He's very much become a goal-scoring centre-half since he's come in, hasn't he?
Well, I think he's always got goals in his career. I don't know quite what the stats are, but it's great delivery from Seb. You know, so pleased with Seb tonight. You know, I asked him to play an unfamiliar position. He's played left wing back, right wing back. He's played centre back for Rotherham, but I don't think he's ever been slotted into midfield. But like I said before the game, I wanted to give all the senior players who were fit minutes, so I asked him to do the job. He broke through in the first half to create Moles' goal. There's still quite a lot of work to do for Moles, but you know, really pleased with Seb getting the assist. And like I say, Boyley has just got that knack. He gets goals for us, and they're important.
Phil, just coming back to Harry, like you say, I thought he came on to just look really bright. Like you say, could have had a few really in the end. How do you manage a player like that in what's already, you know, a big squad, a talented squad that's already causing you a few headaches on who's coming into that 11? How does he, fit into that?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I think with Ashley, you know, physically he's getting stronger all the time. He's kind of grown into his body, if you like, but he's got talent. You know, he's got real talent. He's trained with the first team all the way through pre-season, and he's done really well. We're not going to get too carried away, but we know we've got the potential of a good young player there. So yeah, so pleased for him tonight, and just the lift, you know, Harry Ashe will get from tonight, but not just out of the other lads in the academy. I think, you know, I said since day one when I came in, and me and Steve came in, we gave Max his debut in my first ever game. That was a great indication for everybody else in the system that, you know, even though we've got quite a strong squad, we do like to give the lads a chance if they're good enough.
Paul Mullin had 67 minutes tonight. Phil, how near is he, do you think, to be able to play a full 90 now?
Yeah, I think that, you know, development for him tonight was great, and I thought he worked really hard. That's what I wanted from him tonight. Just, you know, we know he's going to get goals, but make sure that, you know, the data of his work was high, and it was. You know, he closed down, you know, helped Mo in terms of where we needed him to be on the pitch out possession, and yeah, put a good shift in, and that's what Mo's is all about. I've always said that he gets goals, but he works for the team, and that's what we need. And yeah, terrific for him. How close he is to 90. Well, obviously that takes him a step closer.
And just finally now, an extra couple of days of preparation for the Birmingham game, with that being a Monday nighter. Is that quite helpful to actually have that little bit of prep time for what's going to be one of your toughest tests, at least on paper, of the season?
Yeah, I think we've got a few lads who've, like Jimmy McLean, played with a problem with his foot at the weekend. Fletch has had to have an injection today as well. Elliot had a problem, so it just gives us that little bit longer to clear a few things up. So we're going to use that to the benefits of the group, and tomorrow off and everyone back in Thursday, ready for a good day on the training pitch.
Well, Phil, well done tonight. Winning's a habit, and you've certainly got it again tonight, so thanks for coming to join us, particularly in the rain. Phil Parkinson there, Wrexham manager, reflecting on his side's victory tonight against Salford City by 2-1 in the Bristol Street Trophy. So Wrexham off to a flyer in this competition. Matches to come against the Wolves under-21s and Port Vale as well in their group. The top two teams will then progress from the group into the last 16 of the northern section. And carry on from there, potentially all the way to a Wembley final, but a long way to go before we can even start thinking about that one. Winning is a habit, Mia. We hear it a lot in sport. We also hear about momentum, but I think tonight it's another example, isn't it, of where Wrexham have been pushed a bit by a side but have found a way to win late on, and Phil's emptied the bench as he's needed to in the last quarter, and that's made the difference.
Exactly, it's that mentality, like you say. I think that's half the battle sometimes in games like this, and in any game really. If you've got that mentality that you sort of go into games sort of with an arrogance, I guess, that you expect to win, and you know, you get into the late on in a game and maybe you are drawing or maybe even losing, and you still think you can win the game. I think that's so important, and we've got a team of winners. We have, and I think that's, you know, been why we've been so successful, and I think that's why we will be, you know, continue to be successful as well.
Well, looking at that defensive unit tonight, three players there with a lot of pedigree behind them. Scarr and Brunt, of course, who came in the summer. They've not managed to displace Cleworth, O'Connor or O'Connell this season because the back three have been so strong. Did any of them stand out for you tonight to really be asking a question selectorially for Phil for Monday, or do you think it's likely to be same again for Birmingham?
Well, I personally think it'll be same again. I think the level of performances, the ones that have been shown in the first team, O'Connell, Tom O'Connor and Max Cleworth, they're going to be difficult to replace. I'm not saying they had a bad game this evening. The three did enough. They did what they had to. But it's difficult when the lads ahead of them are playing at a level that at the moment is right up there and top draw really. So they've just got to bide their time. They've got to wait for that opportunity. It will come, no doubt about it. When that time is, we don't know, because football can change quickly. You don't want to see injuries, you don't want to see suspensions. But over the season, Phil is going to need all his players, and that's why these games are valuable, because minutes on the field are important. He says training is of a high standard. I would expect that when a team's winning every week, the players are going to be enjoying turning up, and winning is a good habit. I've been in myself in a team where you're winning on a weekly basis and you feel you're never going to get beat. It's a much better feeling than being the opposite. When you're not winning games, you get into a rut and you're thinking where the next win's going to come from. But I'm glad to say Wrexham at the other end, where they just feel they're going to win every game at the moment, and it's good to see.
And statistically, I think you'd be backed up on that. I think I read that since returning to the Football League, Wrexham have only been beaten here 3 times, and particularly in these surroundings. And it wasn't a full house tonight, but 6,640 did come. There was still a good crowd in. You almost get into that mindset that opposition are going to come here thinking, well, if we get a draw at Wrexham, it's a good result, because they're almost impregnable at home.
Yeah, definitely. I think I read something saying since the 22-23 season we've won the most points in the top 5 English leagues, which, I mean, if that isn't a stat, I don't know what is.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like I say, we've got a team of winners. These boys know how to grind out 3 points in the hardest games, but also know how to get them in the games they're expected to win as well. And I think that's a real good habit, like we say. And it's really positive. I think there's so many positives to talk about right now. It's such a great period, isn't it?
I think it's going to take a special performance off an opposition team to come here and win this season, because of the way we are here, not only on the field, but to have these supporters right behind you as well. When it's 13,000 here, it was a good atmosphere tonight, but when it's 13,000, wow, being out there is special.
Yeah.
And for a team to come here and beat us, I think it's going to take something special off them because of the way we are at the racecourse.
Thanks for joining us on Match Day Live. We hope to get a player from the Wrexham camp to come and give his thoughts before we sign off this evening. So please stick with us for that. If you've just joined us on YouTube, then Wrexham off to a winning start in this competition, beating Salford City by 2-1. Captain on the night, Paul Mullin with the first, and Will Boyle securing the win when it looked like we might be heading for a penalty shootout after Conor McAlhaney had equalised for Salford in the 53rd minute. You look at the crowd tonight, it's easy to sort of say, well, yeah, it was okay, but it's half full. But 6,640 for a round 1 Bristol Street Motors Trophy match. It's a pretty incredible attendance, isn't it, for a midweek as well?
It is a midweek school night, children, early mornings, school days, and it just goes to show how far we've come. We wouldn't have got 6,000 in here for a league game 3 years ago, and that's how it's turned around. I'm amazed really with the support and how the supporters have been, because living in the town, I see it on a daily basis. It's never ever a short dog walk these days, because Wrexham fans want to speak to you all the time, and let's hope it stays that way, because it's a much better feeling than where we were 4 or 5 years ago, when supporters didn't want to speak to you. We didn't have a lot to say. There was no performances like there was, and that's not being critical of anybody who's been here in the past and tried to get Wrexham out the National League initially. It's just how it's turned around with the owners we have, who have been absolutely wonderful since the day they took over.
Amir, of course, with no first team game here this weekend, there is a chance to see the Wrexham women's team. They start their season on Sunday at the Rock against Cardiff City. If there's anybody watching who's perhaps thinking about coming and watching the women's team for the first time, give us a flavour of what they might expect.
Listen, I'm not too sure myself this season. Obviously, I watched them a fair bit last season, but I think we all saw their pre-season has been very tough, especially on the Rex Coast tour. We know it was a very difficult challenge for them playing against some of them American teams, but we know the standard out in America in terms of women's football is a different level altogether. But what a great test for them, and what an opportunity for them to see where they want to be, because that's the levels they want to hit. And I'm sure everyone behind the scenes is doing the work to make sure they get to that point. But in terms of this season, they're going to want to be up there with Cardiff and Swansea. They finished third last year. They're going to want to be, I think, definitely number one this year. There's no doubt about that. And I'm sure Steve Dale, Josh Evans, everyone in that backroom staff are doing everything they can, as well as the players on the pitch. And I'm sure Sunday's going to be a great match-up. I think it's a bit of a later kick-off, so might suit some more people to go down for it. It'll be a great experience. And I can only highly suggest getting tickets.
And of course, season tickets available for the first time to watch the women's team this season. Just £25 for an entire season for an adult. That gets you all 10 home games at the Rock, and just a £5 for children. So 50p a game if you go to all 10 matches. So really good value. Chance to see Rosie Hughes and Delith Morgan, Rebecca Pritchard, and all the rest of the Wrexham players that have become so well known in recent years, and new signings as well, like Abby Iddenden, who came in the summer. So get yourself down this season if you're in a position to do so, of course, to see the women's team in action. If not, we'll keep you across all their progress through all the club social media channels, of course, as the season progresses. Wrexham men, of course, next in action at Birmingham City on Monday night. Any good memories as a player playing there, Wayne?
Unfortunately, I played for Stockport County, after my move from Wrexham, and we lost on that occasion. And I came up against a very special player on that night, and that was Brian Hughes, one of our former players here who'd got his move to Birmingham, and a guy I'm still quite friendly with. So that's the only time I ever played at St Andrews, and it was a rocking atmosphere. I can guarantee any of the fans who are going on Monday night, it's going to be a treat. If we think here at 13,000 is rocking, and 25-30,000, it's a special night, and what a feeling that would be to be leaving there if we could get a win. So no, I'm looking forward to being there. I'll be setting off early. Birmingham rush hour is not the best of places to get to.
It's not.
So make sure they set off early, because it's a difficult place to get to. But I'm sure they'll enjoy the night, as they normally do when they travel away. The Wrexham fans, we've had some good away days. Peterborough only 2 weeks ago was a fantastic away day, and I'm hoping for the fans and Phil and the players that they can have another away day at Birmingham on Monday night.
And it will be another example, I guess, Mia, for the supporters just to realise how far the club have come, that only a couple of seasons ago they were setting off, with all due respect, to a trip to Kings Lynn or Dover and the kind of grounds that greased them when they got there, to now walk into St Andrews and see 30,000 blue seats around them, and a club with such a heritage and a lot of time in the Premier League in their history awaiting them.
Yeah, it's another sort of chapter in this sort of fairy tale, really, if you like. I think a lot of people are excited. I think we talked about a few weeks ago, as soon as the fixtures got released, which ones was everyone sort of circling on the calendar and sort of making sure they had off work and everything that comes with that. And I think last week Shrewsbury was definitely one, and this Monday I think is definitely another. It's a massive away day, and what an opportunity for us, whilst we're in such good form, to go there. At this moment in time, I think we're high on confidence. Obviously, hopefully haven't got too many out that could possibly miss the game. So yeah, it could be a real special night down in Birmingham.
So that, of course, comes next Monday for Phil Parkinson's side, and then the next home game here at the Stoke Kairas will be Saturday the 21st of September, where Crawley Town are the visitors. That will be the day that we will mark the occasion of the 90th anniversary of the Gresford Colliery disaster. So on that particular episode of Matchday Live, get ready for quite a bit of content as we commemorate that horrendous event 90 years on. That's the home game against Crawley Town on Saturday the 21st of September here at the Stoke Kairas. We're just wrapping up Matchday Live this evening as the rain pretty much ceases to fall here over the racecourse stadium. It was sunny when we kicked off. It was pretty chilly all night, and then it absolutely bucketed down just as we were preparing to recommence Matchday Live. We were hoping to get a reaction from a player, so we'll just hold on for a minute or two to see if we can get one of the Wrexham players fresh from the dressing room showers to come out and give our thoughts on tonight's this game. Wrexham winning this match by 2-1 thanks to a Will Boyle header late in proceedings. I'm guessing, Wayne, that Phil will probably look at this competition as a way to try and keep squad players fit for as long as he can. The next game is 5 matches away. It's the middle of October. They are quite well spaced out, these fixtures, but it does give an opportunity, particularly if Wrexham progress, to have a continuous flow of effectively reserve team football, I guess, that keeps players in a match-fit situation rather than just saying, well, we'll give them a go on the training ground and we'll hope that if they're suddenly needed we can throw them into the intensity of a League One game, which would be a big ask.
Yeah, it's a problem really, because some of the players would have enjoyed that feeling tonight, playing a competitive game, and some of them might have to wait a number of weeks again before they do it again because of the quality, as we spoke about, in the first team at the moment. So it's hard as a player because we all want to be playing. You know, when you're not in the side, it's difficult. You're watching from the sidelines. You know, you're wishing the team well. You're wishing to go and get wins. But in all honesty, you want to be out on the pitch yourself. But you know, I didn't see any poor attitudes out there tonight, which was good. They've all gone out there, you know, worn the shirt with pride and given what they had, and it's going to take that to be successful this season again. And as I said, you know, they'll wait for the chance. It will come. They certainly will play a big part of the season, most of them, because of the season is a big ask. You know, 46 games is a lot of games, and but it's just a matter of waiting for when that chance comes for some of them.
Mia, from a player's perspective, do you run out tonight kind of half worried a little bit that you're going to pick up maybe a soft tissue injury or a strain or something like that? Because for a number of these players to suddenly go from training to playing a full 90 at full intensity, it's putting your body at a bit of risk, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's obviously always at the back of your mind, even though you try not to think about anything like that. But no, I think the main sort of thing in your head, if you're going into that game, you know, if I were to put myself in them shoes tonight, is to just give, you know, your manager a problem, give him something to think about, try and, you know, your absolute hardest to put him under pressure, but also put the man who's got your shirt in front of you under pressure. You know, if you're Paul Mullin, you want to go out there tonight and sort of, in a way, make, whether it's Jack Marriott maybe, sort of think, right, okay, I need to score one at Birmingham, because otherwise, you know, Mulls will come straight back in.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude you've got to have. That's the sort of energy that's got to be in that change room. They push each other, you know, they don't, it's not just one way. I think they're obviously working together and they're all striving for the same aim, but on an individual basis as well, that it's got to, you know, they've got to at times maybe have that little bit of rivalry, and that's where, you know, more success comes from too.
We know that keepers always seem to have their own little union, Wayne, but do players kind of look out for each other in a similar way, or is that kind of undertone there that actually, I want your shirt and you don't want to give it to me?
Absolutely. You know, you always keep an close eye on the player who's playing in your position. You know, I did it as a pro. You know, I didn't wish bad on any player who went out to play. You know, I you know, patted them on the back and shook their hand. They had the shirt at that time. I had to work even harder, and that brings the best out of me then, because I know I've got to go that extra bit to try and get a shirt myself. And when I do get it, I've got to keep it, and that's where they're at, because the quality of the squad is so good. And you know, it's a big squad, 2 players, 3 players in every position. It's a manager's delight, isn't it? You know, the quality he has. You know, but then he's got to get it right. He's got to pick the team to go out and win the game. And at the moment, Phil Parkinson is doing a very good job at it.
Well, one player who has had his opportunity tonight to come into the side is with us now. Dan Scarr is here. Dan's going to step in. I think Mia's going to step out. Welcome to Matchday Live, Dan. You get a complimentary umbrella with you just for part of it.
So arms won't be sore after this.
Well done on the win. How did you feel personally out there tonight?
Yeah, good. It's always tough when you don't, when you're not playing regularly to come in and perform. But it's the same for a lot of lads. I think we're trying hard. I think it's a credit to us and everyone involved today that we put in a professional performance, really.
How hard is it to come out and play a full 90 down when you've not had a chance to get out in league action?
Yeah, it is tough, but again, it's a credit to the staff for putting on the right training sessions, keeping the lads who aren't involved or aren't getting the minutes, keeping them topped up. Everything's gone off numbers with Owen and Rich and stuff like that, so they're good at their jobs and they make sure you're in the best condition to, if you're called on, to be ready.
We know tonight from talking to Phil, Dan, that of course there were certain players slotting into positions that wouldn't necessarily naturally be theirs, like Seb Ravan and Anthony Ford. When you look back as a team on that performance and in terms of some of the things said in the dressing room tonight, how pleased were you with what you put together?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those players that slotted into different positions, they're good players. They can play in different positions, so credit to them. But yeah, I think it just shows the depth of squad we've got and the quality of squad we've got, that if someone needs to fill in a different position, then they can do it and do it to a good standard.
Clearly, Dan, you've played regularly at this level and the level above it in your time at Plymouth Argyle. How difficult has it been for you so far to be restricted a little bit to your game time in League One?
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating on a personal level, but the main thing is the team's doing well. The lads are keeping clean sheets, so the main thing is the team are winning, and when they're winning like that, you can't do anything but support and be there. And if my time comes where I'm needed, then hopefully I'm prepared and ready to step in.
Feeling fully settled at the club?
Yeah, lads are great. Staff are great. Fans have been welcoming as well. So it's easy to walk into like a club like this because everyone makes you feel welcome. So it's always a bonus because it's not always like that at every club. So it's credit to the gaffer and what they've created here, really.
As a Midlands man, I'm sure you can bring a real insight into what a trip to St Andrews on a Monday night might be like. What have you been telling the boys about?
It's just going to be rowdy, good atmosphere. Obviously the owners' rivalry, both being Americans, so there's a bit of bragging rights there. So, but look, all that aside, for a player, you just need to go and play your normal game, and that's what we'll be saying to the lads. Look, the atmosphere is the atmosphere. Go and enjoy it, and stick to the game plan, and we won't deviate from that.
Well played, Dan. That competitive feeling, competitive game, it beats training by a long way. And I think all the lads who came in tonight showed that attitude that they can train as much as you want, but getting out here, and playing 90 minutes must have been a big boost for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, training's been good, but it doesn't. Whatever you do in training, it can't match up to a game. So I'm sure, like a few of the other lads, I felt a little bit rusty, but that's to be expected, really. But it was good to get 90 minutes in. I felt all right. So everyone got through it, and there's more minutes in the tank for us. So
yeah, absolutely. And we've spoke about the depth in the squad, and I think you've touched on a few things. The lads aren't conceding; they're playing well. Yeah. But your time will come. You're a seasoned pro, and you've got to be ready for that time when it does.
Yeah, definitely. I think in League One, especially, having a good squad depth can pull you over the line. Like, you see a lot of teams, like the bigger teams, they go for a sticky patch and stuff, and sometimes the squad depth can really help, and I think we've got that, which is a bit of an advantage on some of the other teams in the league. So as long as everyone trains hard and everyone pushes each other day in, day out, does the right things, I think we'll have a real good chance.
Good stuff.
Brilliant. Dan, thanks so much for coming to join us this evening. Well done on the win.
Cheers.
And we'll see you again very soon.
Thank you
very much.
Cheers.
Wrexham centre-back Dan Scarr giving his reflections as Wrexham wrap up this victory over Salford City by 2-1 on Matchday Live. Wayne Phillips, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Fantastic.
Thank you.
And we look forward, hopefully, to catching up with you again this season.
Great stuff.
Safe travels to Birmingham for commentary duties next Monday. Mia, you're off to Birmingham as well.
I am indeed.
Good luck with the M6, the M5, or various roundabouts in and around Birmingham. You'll enjoy all of those. And we'll be back, of course, on the 21st of September for the match against Crawley. Well, Salford City, of course, are owned by some of the members of the class of '92. Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt and the Nevilles. But tonight, they had no answers for Wrexham's class of '24. From all of us at the Stoke Kairas, good night.